No, don't do it. No. Oh, phew. Crikey. I felt like Penelope pit stop for a moment then, yeah. Well, you see, I've got 3 angle grinders here, and they're all of varying ages. This one is this decade, right? This one is of at least 2 decades ago, and this one is God knows, right? They all work still, okay? This one used to be my father's. It's an old Wolf, old Kango Wolf. It's still a good tool. I do have a guard for it, but it's not installed. The reason for that is my father used to use that for cutting out window openings in superstructure, fiberglass superstructures, and that's what he used to use this for. So it'd be full of dust, I reckon. Now, Dad also bought this one, this old Black & Decker here. Why, I don't know, but he did. But he had several grinders, a bit like me. Now, this particular one, as you can see, I can grab the body. You can install a side handle if you want on either side, which is fine. And the same with, oh, actually, no, you can't install a handle on this older grindette. Now, the thing about this is, though, okay, if you are going to be using it without the handle, and sometimes you do, because you're working up against a wall or something and the handle's getting in the way, so you take it off and you just hold the body. Now, if you are holding the body, you won't be able to grip it well. And if you're like me with carpal tunnel syndrome, you need to be careful. So, you don't want to get fatigue in your hands. And as you can see here, my hand isn't really going around. I'm just gripping the side of it, but I'm not grabbing it like you would a broom handle. You know, so I can grip it. As you see, there's a huge gap. Okay? Now, my recommendation would be to get something like this one. Now, this is let's say in the last decade, a GWS 7125. It is like these ones, or this one's like, it's a 4-inch. This is a 4.5 inch, and this one is a 5-inch, 125 millimetre. Okay? Now, I think this one might be as well. It's just got a 4-inch disc in it. But anyway, now, the beauty about it is the size of the body, the diameter of this. You see, sometimes you can have too much girth. You can, alright? Too much girth. You got to be able to get your hands around it, alright? If you know what I mean. You got to get your hands around your tool. As you can see, there's a much smaller gap between my fingers, so I'm sort of gripping it more like an actual handle instead of trying to grab onto something like that. See that? Alright? Then if I look at this one here, look at the difference. It's massive. Massive difference. That is going to give you a huge amount of fatigue. That, not quite as much. Plus it's a smoother tool to use. It's a better thing altogether. And like I said, it's one of the Bosch professionals. You can tell it obviously because of the colour of the body. The Bosch standard ones are just green. This is the bluey green colour. And it is a really good tool. And I use this a lot. So this is my recommendation. If you want to find yourself an angle grinder for sanding, like I'm using this one for, make sure you wear dust masks and stuff and good ventilation, because it's like kicks up a shitload of dust. It really does. I can't afford things like Festool Rotex and stuff like that as a fully vac sanding system. I use one of these. I do a lot of stuff with old timber, you see. And the other thing about it is I can use cheap house sanding discs. These pads are in like a 5er with 6 discs, so I can just they're chuck away, aren't they? Let's be honest, they're chuck away. You know, I mean, I don't want to be paying 30, 40, 50 quid for a sanding disc. So baby pads. So that is my recommendation. And also, if you're buying anything second hand, bear that in mind, that the girth is excessive on some of these tools. All right. It's ridiculous. It's just that you really need, even if you are holding the handle on the side there, what will happen, you see, if you've got a handle screwed in there, if it ain't tight, it can actually unscrew, and even though you might be like that, and you try to hold it longer, then it flops, alright, and twists on the screw. Not great, okay? Now this one, I've actually just repacked all the grease in the head. Feels a little bit tight at the moment, but that'll ease up, because I've I've literally filled it right up with grease, because it needed it. But it feels so much better, and the noise that was coming from it was horrendous. So that's the other thing. If you're buying second hand, alright, you need to replace the grease in the gearbox. Really easy to do. It's just 4 screws and this whole thing will fall off, basically. It's really, really easy. Just clean it out and pack it with grease. Make sure you do it somewhere where you're not going to lose bits, Alright, there's a video on my Tinker's Lab channel where I take apart and re-grease an angle grinder like that. Well, this one actually was this one. Okay, it's got a video on there about sorting out the cable. If you do want to sort the cable, you could do what I've done here and add an additional piece of heat shrink. I basically cut the cable off, remade it into the tool, and then where it was basically cracking, I put an extra. Well, it wasn't cracked. What I'm saying is it just takes some of the fatigue away. It moves some of the stresses along the cable. So anyway, get yourself one of these. If you want a 4.5-inch angle grinder that isn't too much money, these are about €60. Get yourself a Bosch GWS 7125. And this is not a sponsored video. Anyway, beat the old like button and let me know what angle grinder do you like to use for sanding or just cutting bits of metal, are you? Toodaloo!